Centaur or mermaid?
Which one would I
Would you
be?
rather be? Yep.
Mermaid.
Are we sticking to the traditional half and halves, or like can I switch up to half? Because that'd be okay. Never mind. A centaur.
Were you gonna say you'd be top half horse?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
How would... Anatomically.
It'd be a nightmare. Your top half would be so heavy.
Thick neck.
Thick neck.
Next Cronenberg movie.
Oh god.
That's good.
What about you, Nick? I'd be a mermaid. Thanks for asking.
Can you elaborate?
Yeah, you could seduce sailors and just hang out all day and be hot and stuff. But if you're a centaur, you're scaring most people, I think.
Yeah.
But you also get a bow and arrow, don't you?
You might have
That
to
comes
talk
with
to
it. Yeah, that's part of the
son of
deal.
a bitch, Mr. Tumnus. I hate that guy.
Yeah.
Mr. Tumnus?
I'd kill Tumnus.
Do you agree with his assessment of the perks of mermaid?
Yeah.
Dumb?
Yeah, you can sing real well.
You're pretty.
You got a siren song.
You can swim good.
If you're a centaur, all you got is that weird horse ass, and you gotta eat Turkish delights with Mr. Tumnus all day.
I fucking hate Turkish
How do you
delights.
sleep if you're a centaur?
On your side.
Nissa, I say this all the time, and no one has an answer for me. Because how does a horse sleep?
They lay down. What are you talking
Like,
about?
but
They
what
just
about
lay
the-
down.
They get
human
down,
bed.
or do they lay on their side?
Yeah.
But what about the human bit?
No, so there's actually it just lays down.
Wait, am I confused? What's the one? Okay, so centaur, you have horse.
Horse entire forelegs
4 legs.
below the chest.
Yeah.
Cut off a horse's head and put the waist up of a person on that.
What's the other one?
Satyr.
Okay.
That's Mr. Tumnus.
Gotcha.
Oh, is that like the
Is
goat
he
man?
not?
Check out. Yeah.
I thought he was a centaur.
No, he's a satyr.
Oh.
Two different things. That's goat boy.
Does he not
Goat boy.
have? Does he? So he's
He just has goat leg. Two goat legs, not
Oh,
4 goat
I
Like
legs.
the
got
devil.
it.
The devil does that.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay.
That's one of his favorite things to do.
I know him.
Well, when I'm thinking centaur, I'm thinking can't use a urinal, but also no more gas, and you can bring a partner with you. They could be on your back. You like, let's go to Seattle, and you just gallop there. You don't have to pay for gas, or if you go to work, you don't have to pay for gas. Or if you got to go to the store, you don't got to pay for gas. Or
But then you'd always be like,
Wouldn't you be tired?
you'd be tired.
you'd
Always
be in great shape.
Yeah,
Is
but
what it
you-
would be.
Always in the back of your head, you'd be like, does she love me, or does she just not want to pay for gas?
No, but think about how many crunches you could do while you're running around.
You could do
As
crunches
you're
while
running around,
Yeah. And
No,
see what I'm
that
thinking.
wouldn't work. You could do that right now.
See what I'm
really
thinking?
good point.
Logic,
I
yeah.
could get in way better shape nowadays.
What I always think about with the mermaid is, unlike the centaur, it can't integrate into society. It's just down there with fish.
Oh, a centaur would not be able to integrate
Yes,
into
it would.
society.
Yeah, that'd be
Come on.
serious.
I would have to go live like a wild man?
Yeah,
That's
I
what
the
couldn't-
government
that's
would
what I want
take you
anyway.
immediately.
Bro, I'm
cut
sure
you into bits.
there's something I could do at some kind of factory, or I could greet at Walmart, or I could even work from home.
No,
They don't even have to know I'm a centaur. I could literally do the job I do now. They have no idea I'm a centaur.
You only need to
Upper
see
half,
waist
yeah,
up
on Zoom,
anyway.
yeah.
What would happen if you were a centaur and you walked into a city? You'd walk around, people would scream and run, and you'd be sad, and then you'd be unconscious, and then you'd wake up in like a military interrogation room, and you'd be like, "What's going on?" And they're like, "We just have some questions for you." You're like, "When can I go?" And they're like, they pound their hand on the table and they go, "How do you sleep?"
Eating Soup Alone is a podcast hosted by me, Christopher Crumley, and co-hosted by Nicholas Johnson. We try our best to ramble incoherently about a handful of movies at least once a week.
So, Chris,
So, Nick,
we watched 2 movies again. Also, Nissa, Elton are here. Hello. Welcome.
Hey.
We decided to do it again because last time my audio was unusable, and I was killing it the whole time. I had a lot of jokes, a lot of great points, but none of you guys could hear me.
there's no
So
proof that it
nobody brought
happened
it
even.
up. Yeah,
Well, we watched 2 movies, Nick.
we sure did, Chris. We watched finally Dr. No
Yeah,
and Raising Arizona.
we did, yes. Guys, everybody turn away.
Oh, mail time.
Close your ears. My secret agent partner slipped me this very tiny, tiny note. I slipped it into the sleeve of my tuxedo. It says, Dr. No, 1962, snoring. Must be some kind of cipher. I'll have to figure what that means later. It also says 8. No, sorry, that's a 5. 5, 10. Oh, someone's coming. Oh, hey guys. What's going on?
Anyway, we watched Dr. No because I've been begging Chris to do the James Bond movies for forever. We did this one because it's the first, obviously, and Chris wanted to start the first one. I wanted to jump around. Chris said absolutely not.
I can't do it.
And I don't know about you guys, but I thought this movie was so boring that this week...
What?
Do the thing. I'm doing the game show again. I did. But also this week, the Andy Richter to my Conan is Elton.
Okay.
Hello.
Great,
because
Andy
he also brought a horn. And I thought I'd make it James Bond themed, but I really, really struggled with that, as you might imagine. So I had Elton help me with them, but I didn't tell him I wanted them to be James Bond themed. So some of these are James Bond themed, some of them are not.
Okay.
Again, like last time, secret code word. Oh, both of you are participating, Nissa and Chris.
All right.
It's a duel to the death.
It's a duel to the death. You get points for answering. We have trivia, we have physical challenges, and we have riddles. But just like last time, couldn't think of any riddles, so we have no riddles.
And then we have a fire pit out back.
And we have a fire pit out back. The person with the most points at the end wins nothing, but you don't get the consequence. If you lose, you have to replace me on this show next week, which means, Nissa, if you lose, you have to come here and do the show with Chris. Chris, if you lose, it's all you.
Oh, solo episode. Oh,
Yeah.
my God.
I think you can handle it.
Wow.
So if I lose, I have to do a solo episode.
All by yourself, yeah. I get the week off. I'm taking a sabbatical no matter what. I'm taking next week off.
Okay.
You can... No, I was going to say you can pick another person to come in for me, but no, you can't do that.
It gives him too much power.
That gives, it doesn't. You might find somebody better than me, and then you'll just replace me for the rest of the time. So, and Nissa, if you replace me next week, you better not be funnier than me.
Okay.
Anyway,
Wait,
yes.
do I want to win or lose?
It's up to you, man. If the way it works, Nissa, because you weren't here last time, I have 2 secret code words that Elton knows. If you say them, I will wait about 45 seconds to a minute, and then I will ring this bell, or Elton will use a very loud horn, and you'll be able to pick from trivia, physical challenges, or riddles. I recommend you don't pick riddles, because there are none.
Noted.
Okay, so, Chris,
Yeah.
what's your experience with James Bond?
I've
Dr.
seen
No.
Goldfinger with my grandfather one time.
Yeah.
Yeah. In that movie, I could be absolutely wrong, but I feel like he spends a lot of it kidnapped, and everybody else is looking for him.
Goldfinger or Goldeneye?
Goldfinger.
Okay.
And
Goldman?
Oh no, you're right. That
Gold
yeah,
member.
he's strapped to that thing and he's getting
Lasered.
Yeah,
yeah, in Fort Knox,
absolutely.
not trying to steal the gold, trying to ruin the gold, so that the gold that the bad guy has goes up in value. He's trying to ruin it with radiation.
Now that's
Brain.
convoluted.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Now that's James Bond.
Pretty good scheme.
Nissa, you experience with James Bond?
I've seen most of the newer ones.
Okay.
So I've seen the Daniel Craig ones and the Pierce Brosnan ones. I think people in England generally watch them at Christmas time, so.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, for me, I don't know about.
But I don't know. I've seen a few of like the older ones, Roger Moore, you know, Sean Connery. But I'd never seen Dr. No, so
Cool.
this was new for me.
Nice. Elton?
I've literally only ever seen Austin Powers. and
Yeah, baby.
Nice.
Randy.
Randy, baby. As a kid, I played all the James Bond video games just like crazy. Like me and my friends are obsessed with them. So I, in my brain, think of James Bond as more of a video game character. Like that's immediately pops into my mind. But I'm a white dude with a white dad, so all the time my dad would just be watching old James Bond movies, and I'd watch them with him. And I've seen a lot of them, but I haven't seen all of them.
Now, I'm a white dude with a white dad, and my dad has probably never even said anything in a British accent. And my mom's British, so like that's pushing it, you know?
Isn't your dad a hippie, kind of?
No, my dad's such a racist.
Oh, I thought he had like super long hair and loved dope.
Yes, to both of those.
Okay.
There's overlap between the two.
There's overlap, but it's
Venn
still
diagram.
But
Yeah.
there is no overlap of James Bond in that. So,
yeah.
Chris, you want to do the plot?
Sure.
Because that's my problem with all of the James Bond movies I've seen. They're very dense, and by the time it's over, I'm like, or like by the time we get to the end, I'm like, I don't know what we're doing or why really, but I love them anyway.
If I'm not mistaken, we get the credits right off the rip, right?
Classic old movie trope.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
Isn't there a cold open with him at the casino?
You just watched Casino Royale.
Yeah, I think that's what
Yes,
happened.
but he's playing Baccarat at the beginning. And that lady's like getting the cards, and the guy's going, de, toi, or whatever he says in French. And someone goes, what's your name? And he goes, Bond, James Bond. And he goes, blah, blah, blah. And then you get 3 blind mice.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that stuff happens.
No, but it's not him playing Baccarat. It's other people playing Baccarat.
He's absolutely there playing Baccarat.
No, it's the other people. That's why he gets sent there. The other... It's
That's-
other people...
That's Casino Royale.
No.
I see what you're saying.
It's other people playing a card game. And then one guy excuses himself.
What the 3
Oh,
cards?
yeah, that table of guys that we never see again?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought that happened after.
It's
I thought-
definitely after the intro because it has
Yes.
like,
Okay,
the
my
graphic
bad.
of the 3 guys.
Exactly. I thought we
Right.
see him playing Baccarat, then we get the intro, which turns into the 3 blind guys. They kill that guy. Or no.
I thought you had it backwards. Where it's the
I
3
might.
blind guys and then he's elsewhere playing casino games and then he gets called away.
Okay. Either way, it doesn't matter.
Anyways, there's an open. Looks like a 1960s version of a Apple commercial, and Jamaican style sort of Caribbean type
You
music,
crazy?
I believe, is kind of playing.
Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. There's a song that they wrote for this movie that's all over this movie, and they wanted it to be like the main theme, but it's like too kitschy. Fuck, I shouldn't have brought it up
Oh,
because I can't remember what it is.
the
The
mango.
mango
Yes.
and the
Yeah, yeah.
tangerine.
So, anyways, basically, I think after that we get the Strange Ways murder, right?
The guy who excuses himself from the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's happened. Then there's like a little spy, like cabinet thing that this spy pulls down, pulls out.
the fakest looking books I've ever seen.
Yeah, pulls out all the spy equipment and tries to call home, but
Uh-oh.
she gets murdered.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember this, but okay, I believe you.
Because that's the whole thing. That's how they get tipped off. Because she left her radio running, and they're like, "What the fuck?"
General answer.
Yeah, so they assign James Bond to the whole deal. He's hanging out, and they pull him aside because he hasn't like slept in a couple days, and he's like talking to the boss. And it's like 3 a.m, and he's like, you got a plane to make."
Yeah, I love this scene because before that, seeing him as James Bond, like when he's walking around the casino and talking to that woman that he beat in Baccarat or whatever, I'm like, ugh, just yuck. Like just Sean Connery in general, I'm just like, yuck. He just kind of makes my skin crawl a little bit. But then like when he goes into the office before he talks to the boss, when he's talking to Moneypenny, and he comes in, throws the hat on the hook. I was like, all right, that's pretty cool. And then he sits on her lap and he's talking to her. I'm like, all right, never mind, I get it.
Yeah, I love him in Moneypenny. I really loved James and Moneypenny talking to each other. Talking about like, when are you gonna date me, Bond? Oh, you couldn't handle me.
But yeah, to this point, we have 3 blind men who are playing blind. They're assassins. I believe there's also a little scene where they take a shot at him once he first gets to Jamaica. But anyways, he gets to Jamaica, and there's a gentleman with a car who comes up to him, and he's like, "Give me 1 second." And he goes to the phone booth, calls his little headquarters, or whatever. Not his headquarters, but the place he's going. Like the embassy or whatever the hell it is.
Right, his consulate.
He's like, "Did you guys send a car for me?" And they're like, "No, not yet. We figured you'd have your own car, or want your own car kind of thing." He's like, "Okay, good."
Looks
So
all
he's-
smug.
Yeah, because he knows he knows what's up.
Already scheming, this Bond is.
Yes, very clever. I like. I will say I did like this movie quite a bit. I like this James Bond. Seems very clever. Very smart guy. Very observant guy. He's in the back of the car. He notices that there's a car following them. He tells the driver to lose him or whatever. They pull off behind a bush, and he's like, "All right, I know you're in cahoots," to the driver. They get into a little fight, a little scuffle. Then,
Punches him in the head. The first of many Bond punches. I love the James Bond punch.
Yes, but also
The
he
big wind.
eats the cyanide out of the cigarette.
Ooh.
That was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy. He ate the cyanide out of the cigarette. After visiting the house, he sees the picture of Strange Ways with a fisherman. And he goes to find the fisherman. He asks the fisherman about something, and he's being a little elusive. Then he kind of follows the guy and meets him at like a restaurant or whatever. And this CIA gentleman clues Bond into like, "Hey, we're also working the case," kind of a thing. And this boat guy, he's a good guy. This is gonna be your friend. All that kind of stuff.
Chris. Oh, it was Chris?
Yeah.
Chris, trivia, physical challenge, no riddles.
Trivia.
Trivia?
Get ready, because these are nightmares.
Yeah, a lot of these are.
It's like, how many mangoes can I hold? Is literally going to be one of the questions. I bet you money.
That's a really good guess.
Yeah.
That is. These are all the trivia.
They're all
at least.
nonsensical.
They're all. Let me finish. They're all James Bond themed. Some of them are trick questions. A lot of them are opinion based.
Yeah.
The opinion ones are more so like, if it's my opinion, great. If I like your opinion, great. You get the points. Chris, which of these Bond girls did I make up? I'm gonna read you their name with a brief synopsis of what they did in the movie. Dr. Molly Warmflash is a doctor who serves as a physician to MI6 agents such as James Bond.
I think it's that one.
They get worse. In the film, she diagnoses Bond with a dislocated collarbone and advises him to stay out of action. Not wanting to be taken off of active duty, Bond seduces her into clearing him as fit for duty. She tries to resist, but ultimately, Molly allows Bond to strip her of her clothes, and they pork. 2. When James Bond must go undercover as a local fisherman on a small island in Japan, Kissy Suzuki is chosen by her employer to aid Bond in his mission, leading the two to marry in a staged wedding ceremony, allowing Bond to move around the islands of Japan unnoticed. 3. Bond is tasked with investigating billionaire industrialist Hugo Drax in his Moonraker program with the help of American CIA intelligence operator Dr. Holly Goodhead. At the end of the film, the Americans and British tried to talk to Bond and Goodhead on the space station to congratulate them, but the two are having sex, prompting Q to say, "I think he's attempting re-entry." And last, at a casino in Monaco, James Bond wins a card game against Xena on Top, a ruthless assassin who receives sexual satisfaction through killing. Later, the two pork, and she attempts to crush his head with her thighs.
All right, give me just the names again.
Dr. Holly Warmflash, Kissy Suzuki, Holly Goodhead, and Xena Onatop.
It's either Warmflash or Kissy. I want to say Warmflash.
Final answer?
Yeah.
Chris, that was a trick question. They're all real.
I knew the other ones were.
Shit, you know what I should do next time?
What's that? Make them all fake?
Yeah, I should make them all fake next time, but rules changed. If either of you get one wrong, it goes to the other person.
Ooh.
Okay.
Nice.
What happens next in this movie?
The CIA agent says something about like some metal samples collected from an island, which I think is what Bond wants the fisherman to bring him to.
Crab Key.
Crab Key. At some point, Bond realizes that they're like radioactive, because I think he goes to that doctor. Can't remember the doctor's name. But he can tell that the doctor is kind of like in on it. Like he does, like even does a Columbo, like one more thing with the guy. Yeah. Like because he turns around and grabs the report they gave him. He's like, I'm gonna hang on to that.
The receipt.
Yeah. Can I talk about Felix Leiter for a second?
Sure.
The CIA agent. You know what movie I love?
What's that?
I love Old Boy.
Yeah.
In Old Boy, when he's released from his prison, he's got a weird haircut and just random clothes, and at some point he just takes sunglasses off of somebody, so he looks kind of goofy throughout the whole movie. He's just got these weird, like, pointy white women's sunglasses. Those are the exact same sunglasses that dude's wearing in this movie.
You're
got no idea why.
right.
I found it incredibly distracting. Chris, continue.
So then that doctor, I believe his name is Dent, goes out to Crab Key to talk to the bad guy. And the bad guy basically tells him to kill Bond with a tarantula. And then we get a scene that both Nissa and I pointed out as seeming out of Attack of the Clones. I would reckon that scene's probably an homage to a degree. The scene where Padme's, they're trying to assassinate her with like little, what is it, like robot space bugs? Yeah, something like that. He's all sweaty. There's a tarantula on him. He kills it with a shoe. There's a horn sound that accompanies it.
It's great. I love it.
Yeah, good
Might
stuff.
be my favorite part of the movie is when he hits the spider and it goes blah, blah, blah.
I think there, right around here is probably when he goes on that, like, what I'll call, for lack of a better term, fuck session with that secretary at her house. And they're going to go out to dinner together, but then he has her arrested because I guess she's in on it.
Oh my god, yeah.
And
He fucks that lady twice and then arrests her.
yeah.
Ugh.
And
And
then stages the
crazy.
house to look like they banged, which is even funnier to me. Like,
Yeah.
This man is so down to business.
Yeah, he sets a trap. We should also mention when he first got into his apartment, he sets some nice little traps that I appreciate.
That was fun.
Yeah, he just sets like something that would be unnoticeable, just like a little piece of hair, like on the closet that he'd be able to check for later. And then he puts like a little bit of dust on his like briefcase to see if anybody tries to open it.
Yeah, I do like that in this one. His gadgets are baby powder and his own leave-ins.
Yeah. Very resourceful. But anyways, so yeah, he sets a little trap because I can't remember exactly who it. Oh, it's actually the Doctor himself comes to try to kill Bond after the tarantula fails, but he turns the tables on that guy.
Yeah,
and kills him.
I love that. It's a pretty cool. It's like I feel like it's that Leon the Professional scene, but just a little cool. You know how Leon the Professional sleeps in that chair every night? I feel like the James Bond is just that, but he's playing solitaire at the same time.
Apparently he's able to check the fisherman's boat and it's radioactive. Figures that the radio jamming, because that's what's going on apparently, is that some missile launches have been jammed by radio signals done by the bad guy out on Crab Key.
Could not have gleaned any of that.
Yeah, I will say that, I didn't really know what was going on with the villain stuff. Am I on?
No, it was a bit convoluted. I had a hard time.
This is an all play. Anyone who can answer it first gets, let's see, 50 points.
Okay.
In this film we just watched, what is Dr. No's plan? What is he trying to accomplish?
He's trying to stop the missile from launching.
Because
he wants to be the next world power or something?
Chris, a rebuttal?
I
don't know, she got it dead on. I don't know why I asked her.
Oh, okay. After that... What?
He's just excited.
I'm the point gremlin.
Yeah, he's excited.
I'm dancing because I'm the point gremlin and Nissa got points.
Oh!
As a gremlin would do.
Yeah, point gremlin. I like it.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Come
that's
up with
fun.
that earlier. That's way better than that. Hey, you Richard.
I can be many things.
This is my little point gremlin. But at this point, the fisherman and Bond go out to the island, and he bumps into Honey Rider. She is a woman who is
Sexy.
She does do that.
I don't understand this scene of the two of them meeting at all. Because in my memory, he walks up and goes, "Who are you?" And she goes, "Seashells." He goes, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "This one's $50." And he's like, "You want to come with us?" And she's like, "Yeah, sure." Like, I don't know who she is or why she's there.
Yeah. Well, later on they explain that her dad was a scientist who got killed for going to the island or something like that, and so she's trying to go there and kind of get revenge, but it's one of those things where she really can't because all she has is a knife and they have a dragon. But she still goes there for the shells because she's trying to, like, send them back to, like, a scientist in Florida or something like that, or she's from Florida.
Are you making this up?
No.
What
No,
are
you
you
didn't
saying?
pay attention to
You didn't pay attention to that?
No. Oh yeah, Honey Rider
Yeah.
was the daughter of a
Scientist.
A scientist.
Yeah.
He was a marine biologist. That's why she's so interested in these seashells.
Yeah,
that's
why
why
she
knows
goes out
about
to the island.
economy.
And she
Her
doesn't...
name Honey Rider?
Her name's Honey Rider.
And she doesn't just tag along. What happens is he tells her to get out of there, but then when they go back to her boat, it's been smashed up already. So now
Well, it's
he's
been
like,
shot
fuck.
by the
Yeah.
random shooting that they did.
Yeah, so now she's stuck there with him is the point. Yeah.
But didn't offer his boat because James Bond is a
Well,
piece
he
of
needs
shit.
a way to get back.
James Bond is a piece of shit. He's
Okay.
If his plan is to just murder everybody and escape however he wants, he could
Yeah.
offer up his dinky boat.
They escape into the swamp and do the thing that I've seen in a million movies, and I wonder if this was even the first time that it was done, but they use the reeds to breathe underwater and hide from all the gunmen.
It might be like
That was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
it's like what we said in The Wizard of Oz. Did this come from Bugs Bunny or this movie first? We have no idea.
From there, I think it becomes nighttime and the dragon attacks, which is like a flame-throwing tank.
That's my favorite part of this
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
I had no idea they were going to be like, there's a dragon on this island. And I was like,
Really?
what?
Yeah,
I was like,
interesting
what is,
detail.
how is this going to play out? And then it's like, oh, it's just very obviously a car
Yeah.
from any distance.
They're captured and brought to Dr. Evil's hideout.
Oh, wow.
But
Not everybody's captured
yeah,
though.
their poor dear friend got
Yeah.
set
Murdered?
aflame.
Oh, it said a flame.
Yeah, that's not-
I thought he just got shot. It is said.
No,
That's a staple of the James
Yeah,
Bond
that
franchise.
Is someone getting lit on fire?
No, he has a friend that you're like, I love this guy. He's
Yeah.
the best part of this movie, and then he dies horribly.
what was his name? Buffet?
Something like that.
Quarrel.
Quarrel.
Yeah. Something like that, yeah.
Buffet. He's got a U in it
That's funny.
and a double letter. That's how
So
I remember
anyways,
things.
They're hanging out. They get new clothes, new digs.
Yeah, this place is like a hotel, basically.
Yeah. And they have some of the complimentary coffee, but it makes them very sleepy. So they take a little nap.
All play. How many Asian people in this movie are played by white people?
Couldn't even guess 2?
Nissa?
1.
It's 2. Chris, great
Oh.
job.
How many points?
25.
Nice. You're lagging, Chris.
That is normal.
Which 2 characters?
Blofeld, not Blofeld, Dr. No, and one of the women who work at the hotel.
After they're done with their nap, they go to a delicious dinner with Dr. No, I believe.
No, they don't take a nap. I love that there's food there. James Bond's like, we gotta eat. And she's like, I don't know if that's a good idea. He's like, nah, shut up, we gotta eat.
Yeah.
And they eat, and she immediately passes out. He's like, God damn it.
Yeah. But at dinner, Dr. No gives some of his whatever. He also has metal robot hands because his hands have been ruined by radiation. I like that detail.
Only his
Chris,
Yeah.
one of my questions is, what's up with Dr. No's hands?
Yeah.
That just got you 25 points.
Thank you.
Oh, damn.
You asked a question. You answered a question before I even asked it.
Now, is that fair? Because this is not explaining the plot of the movie.
Okay, give him 23 points.
Okay, heard.
I'm winning by 2.
There you go. So I also like Dr. No, decent
fun.
villain. He doesn't show up for often, but I do like the little moments he gets. Like James Bond tries to sneak a knife into his. In fact, I as a viewer didn't even see him do it, but Dr. No's like, come on, what do you take me for? Some kind of dummy? You know.
Open your mouth.
And so they take the girl away, Mrs. Honey Rider, and I think Dr. No leaves also, and James Bond does some fighting. And then eventually he does do a Wizard of Oz, because he chokes a guy out and takes his little anti-radiation suit.
I lied. The spider part's not my favorite part of the movie. This is my favorite part of the movie. Is when he puts the clothes on and he just goes.
Yeah, he goes into the main room and he hangs out.
He just kind of hangs out until Dr. No's
Dr.
like,
No gives him orders.
What are you doing?
Go do your machine. Go do your machine. And he goes to do the machine and he realizes I can really fuck up the machine if I do it wrong ways. So he does it wrong ways. And then Dr. No's like, what the hell? And everybody leaves. And then him and Dr. No fight on this like elevator that's going down into like radioactive water.
The gantry.
And then like 10 seconds after they started the fight, Dr. No dies in radioactive water and Bond has to flee the thing and he ends up on a boat with Honey Rider and they make sex. And then like the Coast Guard comes and grabs them and they like tie the boat to the Coast Guard boat and then he unties it so they can make more sex.
No,
and
James
then
Bond
it's
is
credits.
holding the boat to the other boat and he just lets go so they could bang again.
And there you go. Scene. That's the movie. I gotta say, a lot
you
of
ripped through that. That was great. I'm
Yeah.
very impressed. Yeah.
fun.
Yeah, I
Lot
like
of
this
fun.
more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
Like way more than I thought I would.
Yeah. I gotta say I liked it a lot more than I liked Goldfinger. Do you have any thoughts to wrap it up? We'll each get a little chance, but what were your general impressions? Did you have fun with it?
Anything we missed?
Anything we missed? Anything you want to point out?
Yeah, it was fun.
I mean, I thought it was a little convoluted.
Yeah.
I had a hard time following the plot. I didn't really expect much from the women in this film in terms of how they were going to write them.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't very surprised with how that turned out.
Yeah.
The random scene with Honey Rider where she's just like all of a sudden not wearing a bra.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah, it was pretty good. I like the set design a lot,
Yeah.
and the costuming was fun.
Yeah.
So good.
So those are probably my favorite aspects of it. I thought it was, I don't know. Sometimes it's just fun to watch a film from that time period and just like marvel at how aesthetically pleasing it is.
Yeah, I talk frequently on the podcast about like I like that era. I think it lasted up until like the 80s where like they would just build a set of something instead of finding a location.
Yeah, it's great.
And I love set shooting. I wish every movie was shot on a set. It's just so like there's something that it just adds a little sprinkle of fairy dust on it where I'm like, I know it's not real, but god damn it, I wish it was because it looks like a place I want to be. But it doesn't exist. But yeah, like one of the things I pegged earlier was like it's nighttime, but outside they just have like it's like a purple glow to the window almost, and
Yeah,
like
the 3
then
a.m.
it's
scene before
yeah.
he gets sent on the plane.
Yeah.
then later on they're supposed to be in Jamaica and there's a sunset happening in the back, but again it's just this like orange glow. It's not an actual sunset or anything like that. It's nice. It's like it's almost like the uncanny valley. It's like I know what they're going for, but it's not a real thing, and I wish it was because I would go to that place.
Yeah.
You said that while we were watching it, and I was like, I think that might just be like an awning over the window. But then I was like, I can't tell because either way, it's going to be the same material.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be the same thing. So hell, I'm just going to pretend it's the sun, and Chris is right.
But
I think like the thing I was taken back by the most was set design. Like, I feel like his lair at the end felt very Adam West Batman. And that kind of took me out of it a little bit. But I love the scene where what's his face gets the spider. It's just this big weird empty room with a cage at the top. And Nissa pointed out you can see the seam from the sky on the side of it.
Yeah.
But like it's just like he's just sitting in this weird chair and Dr. No's talking to him over a loudspeaker and he's like, all right, walk over all the way across the room to that chair. And he sits down and he talks to him. He's like, now walk all the way over to the other side of the room and pick up that spider. It's like, this is just such weird, great, old-timey villain garbage. I love it.
Yeah. I love old-timey villains. Elton, you got any closings?
What do you think about your first James Bond movie?
First James Bond movie, I liked like the first 2/3 where he's like doing all the sleuthing, gaining all the friends, figuring things out. He's talking to people. He's going to dinners. He's getting captured. He's breaking out of capture. And then like the last bit where he has to resolve everything, I feel like he just didn't fucking care. And it was just like, God, I want this to end. And I also was reflecting that, like, God, I just want this to end.
Yeah.
I don't care about Dr. No at this point.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
I thought Dr. No had a kind of anticlimactic.
You got it.
He just kind of drowned.
Yeah.
Because his
Well, he's
super
gonna come
strong
back,
hands
right?
couldn't grab a pole.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I usually tie James Bond to a lot of gadgets, and I know that he had gadgets in the books, but I suppose like it makes sense when this was filmed, being the first James Bond movie, you're not going to throw your entire budget into making these fantastical gadgets in the 60s, right? So like I get it, you know, I get why he didn't have very many gadgets, and I think it was fine for not having them.
Yeah.
Elton, that's a great point. Nissa, out of these gadgets, which one did I make up? An alligator submarine, a flame-throwing bagpipes, cigarette case gun, or a wristwatch grappling hook?
Oh, I know the last one's real. That'd be embarrassing if it wasn't. I'm pretty sure the last one was real, and I think the second to last one was also real. So you said an alligator?
Alligator submarine.
What does that mean?
A submarine that looks like an alligator.
Or it's made out of one.
Flamethrower bagpipes. Bagpipes that have a flamethrower inside of them.
Bagpipes. I feel like
Cigarette case that turns into a gun, or a wristwatch that shoots a grappling hook.
I'm gonna go with the first one.
Oh, it's cigarette gun
I
case.
thought you were gonna let people steal it.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. that one.
You gotta remind me. You gotta remind me. You gotta go.
I was gonna say that one sounds so believable. It has to be the one you made up.
It is. It's the one I made up.
Well, nobody
Wow,
gets any points.
that's great. I need
Give
to know
Chris,
what this
give
submarine
Chris
looks
1
like.
point.
Mm.
Give him 2
A
points
pity
for
point.
getting it right and calling me on
2
it.
pity points.
I got pity points.
Mm.
So yeah, to close it out, I mean, I'd probably put it like a B. You know, I think it was pretty good for being like a thrilling action movie from the 60s. I mean, thrilling in the contemporary sense to like then. And so, yeah, I mean, I'm not well versed in like what else was going on at that time, but you know, for it still being pretty exciting and interesting today, you know, some of the twists and some of the situations and the way that, you know, he comes up with solutions to things, still kind of fun. So, yeah, it held up enough for what it is. I mean, it's a James Bond movie. I mean, like Nissa pointed out earlier, you're going to get a lot of sexism, you know. And also, it's not meant to be like, you know, the most intelligent puzzle to solve or anything like that. It was just a nice little, I mean, fun.
I will say the most surprising part about this movie for me was the lack of sexism. It's still definitely in there, but it is not at all what I was expecting. Like, I've seen James Bond movies where he beats a woman up and then they bang. Like, it's
nothing gets that crazy, but
in this one, I didn't know if you know this, but in Moonraker, this woman's name is Holly Goodhead.
Yeah. So, like I said, I give it a B.
I think I'd give it a B too. But also on the sexism thing, I agree with you, and I think it's interesting how it's it's less, I don't know, it feels more of a passive thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like for example, when they go to Dr. No's secret lair, they only talk to James Bond. They don't talk to her about anything anything like that. So that's just like an example.
And most women in there like working the desk.
They all want to make love to him.
They all want to have sex with him, yeah. So, yeah.
I'd also be really curious to see how people, especially women, perceived it when it came out. Like, what did they think of Honey Rider? Were they like, oh my gosh, there's a woman and she's in a James Bond film, and
I'm curious if people
she
even
was in like a powerful position in that film.
Yeah, I'm curious if like anybody even took the time to ask women. Like if you could actually find something, like an artifact of like what women thought of James Bond at the time.
Yeah, that'd be great.
That'd be interesting.
I'm gonna give this movie a solid C. It is. I hear a lot of people talk about it being like this is like the first like action movie. Like that's what.
That's what I was beating around earlier. I just don't have enough knowledge of action movies to know like what, because like it does stand out to me as being pretty thrilling. But I just don't know what else was going on at that time, which could be a good compliment for the movie, or it.
I think like it's to the extent where like I think the way it worked is like people saw this, and then saw him get on an airplane and go to another country, and they're like, "Whoa, this movie's groundbreaking!" And just like shit, like him driving, and forgot to definitely bring up him driving in that car with that giant car behind him. Anyway, and yeah, it just that's what I hear about the what people would say about the books when they came out too. They were like, "Oh, they take place in like such like exotic locations that people would read them and be like, oh, I wonder what it's like to go to Hong Kong and read a James Bond book and be like, this must be it." So that's cool, but also I don't think it really stands the test of time. Like, what I like about James Bond movies is even though they're all pretty dense and hard to follow sometimes, there are moments here and there where I'm like, oh, that's actually pretty cool, or oh, that's actually pretty fun, or oh, I haven't seen that in a movie before. But this really, all that I really got out of that was the spider stuff and him like putting the hair over the door and everything else. I was like, yeah, okay. So wasn't super taken away by it. Elton?
Yeah, I'm going. I think I was feeling C+. It's definitely reminds me of my serving job, where it's a lot of hurry up to wait. You know, you rush through the exciting parts and then you wait through like some boring parts, and you're like, oh my gosh, okay, I get it. This is story. It's not being explained well. I don't care about this. And then you rush through some more exciting parts just to get to some more boring parts.
But when they get to the boring parts, they play the James Bond theme at full volume.
I actually do love that. I know you were shitting on that the whole time, Nick, and I loved that. I loved it when they were playing just the James Bond themed in the back, or the James Bond theme in the background. Oh, so fun.
All right, well that does it. The last thing I'll say to put a bow on it is I'm interested to see more because from my quick Wikipedia reading, one of the first sentences is that like it says that at the time this movie was initially not received well, but as time has passed, it's been considered probably amongst the strongest of the entries.
Wow.
Because of how inconsistent they can get and stuff, and people definitely point to this one as being like, this is a James Bond movie. This one is solid.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, the one I hear people point to the most is Goldfinger, the one you see, and like everyone's like, that's the quintessential James Bond movie.
Yeah, interesting, because I feel like my problem with that one was, and it could be a cool subversion in the context, like if I see a couple more of them, like as a sequel, it could be a good idea, but for being my entry point, like for him to be, from my perception, again, I saw this like 2 years ago at this point, so it's a little foggy, but I just remember him being like held captive for a chunk of the movie and everybody looking for him. And maybe just being like, I want to see him like lick a fucking hair and put it on a fucking closet or fight off a tarantula. Why is he captured the whole time? I want to see James Bond do James Bond stuff. Like I said, which could be cool for a sequel to be like, what if we take James Bond away from you?
Right.
But, you know, having it just be my entry point, I was like, I want more Bond. So we'll see how it goes. But that's not the only movie we watched this week.
Yeah, we also watched
Raising Alaska, as Elton said.
It is Raising Alaska.
Yeah.
Mail Time.
Mail time. All right, thank you, co-host Nick, for bringing the mail directly to me.
Yeah, no problem.
Like normal, how normal people get mail, even in Arizona and Alaska, people still get mail. Someone has to go around in a little... No, they probably go and pick up their mail, right? They probably go down to the mail office and pick up their mail in Alaska. Like in really remote areas, you probably have to go into town.
Yeah,
and
you get on your
mail.
dog sled, you mush all the way there.
Fly your little plane.
Raising Arizona, 1987. Did you know it's spelled Arizona and not Arizonia? Crazy. 9 out of 10.
Chris,
Yes.
what's your history with Raising
What
Arizona?
do you think that means?
What do you think that means? Arizona.
Oh, okay. I get it now.
That's what I thought.
I needed somebody to explain.
I found out the other day I've been spelling Arizona wrong my entire
In fact, if you look at that whiteboard, it might still be spelled wrong.
wrong, yeah.
Oh. Hey, kind of crazy that the person writing in all this mail has the same handwriting all the time, huh?
Oh, they're usually typed. They're usually set it on a typewriter.
Interesting.
I thought I saw some typewriter ones, but lends itself to
Wait
some
a second.
troubled mindset.
Listen, Points Goblin, you're here to keep points, not point out plot holes in your show.
I'm holding the airplane envelope in the Raising Arizona. I'll have to send this off to nowhere. Don't worry about it. I saw this movie when I was probably like 11 or 12. I can remember some parts of it, but also I feel like it was a little dry for my little 11-year-old brain, and I got bored by it. So that was my history. Yeah. Yeah. You think you would have dug it at 11?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I watched the movie Ghost Rider at 11 and
Hell yeah.
loved it, and this has a Ghost,
Ghost
Rider.
Rider,
in
yeah,
it.
it is a Ghost Rider. Yeah, you're not wrong. You are not wrong.
In fact, 2 Ghost Riders, I would say.
Yeah.
But I never
John Goodman?
I never even heard of this movie up until recently.
Okay, so you have no history with it.
Yeah,
okay.
and then I had to get stars. So, hello, my
Oh.
free week trial.
Hope you remember to
Stars.
click cancel it.
No, I won't.
All right.
Woo!
Nissa, history with it?
I'd
You seemed
never seen
excited.
it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I'd never seen it. The only thing I knew about it, well, the only thing I'd heard about it was that Nicolas Cage looks really good in it.
Which he does, in my opinion.
Yeah.
The whole time I was like,
tell me about it.
Those sideburns.
yeah.
As soon as the movie started, I told Chris, I was like, just so you know, if I could grow sideburns, this is how I would look all
Right.
the time.
Oh, yeah.
I knew of this movie, didn't know what it was about, didn't know who was in it, didn't know who directed it. And Chris was like, let's watch it. And until I saw the cover of it, I thought we were watching Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And I was pleasantly surprised. I really, really enjoyed this movie.
Yeah. What's it called? Coen Brothers Joint?
Also, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Also,
Yeah.
Brother Where Art Thou?
Big point
Yeah. Yeah.
that I have is that it's pretty much exactly the same movie as Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? In a
Yeah.
crazy way, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think that this one, they captured lightning in a bottle. I love this movie. And then I've seen Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? And, like, looking, obviously seeing them in reverse chronological order, I feel like they were trying to harken back to this one and, like, try to capture that same magic with George Clooney, and I just don't think they did.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're not here to talk about Oh Brother, Where Art
No, we're here to talk about Raising Alaska. In the very beginning, we meet our main character.
Christopher, trivia or physical challenge?
Let's do a physical challenge. We haven't had one of those yet.
Great.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be like, what's a funny number of push-ups?
Sick callback.
That was an actual physical challenge, again.
50.
I barely did 10, and 11 would have been funny, I guess, is what I was told.
Okay, Chris,
That was
you're going to
14.
get the only James Bond physical challenge that I wrote down.
All right.
Chris, for 20 points, seduce me.
Seduce you. God.
Let me set the stage.
Yeah, help me roll.
It's a casino. Things are real royale here.
Okay.
You're James Bond, obviously. You got a tuxedo on. You got a bow tie. Imagine you're dressed like me, but this is dumb.
Mm-hmm.
You're not wearing a baseball hat.
What are you doing? Who are you?
My name is Ivana
Fuck-a-what?
Sutgood,
Okay.
and I'm playing backgammon. No, I'm playing craps.
Okay.
The least sexy sounding of all casino games.
So
I'm
close
playing
to
craps. I'm playing craps. I'm sitting at the table. I'm rolling dice. Is that what you're doing, craps?
Yeah.
I'm rolling dice. I'm sitting at the edge of the table. I'm going, fuck, shit, fucking stupid, fucking husband. Fucking, I don't know why I'm mad at him about being bad at gambling, but God, I'm fucking so drunk right now.
Uh-huh.
Fuck.
Could be other people at the craps too.
Ugh. It was me rolling dice.
Okay. I come over.
Betting.
I stop you. I grab your hand.
Excuse me?
I grab your hand.
Excuse me. Do I know you?
And I let the dice fall into my hand.
Those are my dice.
Yeah.
Sir, it's not your turn yet. This is
Okay.
how craps work.
I get
It's like
ejected from the
turns.
casino. Didn't work.
And then you're outside of the casino and you're like on your watch or whatever, trying to contact MI6, and I come out, and I go, hey, I was uncalled for,
Yeah.
but I like your style. What are you doing later? And then we pork. Chris, you get 20 points. You nailed it. You got me.
I think maybe you seduced him.
I think you might have, but it doesn't that kind of how it works
That's
in the
me. I
movie?
said at the
Nick's
end.
just so thirsty.
I sit at the end of a craps table talking about how much I want to cuck my husband, and
Yeah.
the men just come flooding.
Yeah. That is kind of how it works in James Bond movies. They just kind of come up, say something, and then suddenly they want to bang him. So, another one in the old James Bond leather belt. Another notch in the James Bond belt.
Do you think he wears a leather belt, James?
Yeah.
As opposed to
Metal.
Gadget material.
nano leather.
It's bulletproof. It's a bulletproof leather.
Yeah, and he can like pull it up, and it's like a whole bodysuit. You know, he does like underneath. He grabs like the top edge of it and goes like, and it makes the worst noise you've ever heard.
It's just cellophane.
Yeah,
in case he has
and then
to
he's
store
like wrapped like a
leftovers.
big condom or something, you know, like this.
Yeah, but it only goes one way, so if they're shooting at his top half, it goes like this, and if they start going down, they just go, ah! Oh, you want to write a James Bond movie?
Yeah, really badly.
You want to know fun facts? The guys that wrote, there was a writing team of 2 guys that wrote most of the Pierce Brosnan ones, and then like a couple of the Daniel Craig ones. They suck. And when they write one by themselves, it, like are like considered like the worst James Bond movies of all time. But when they have like a partner with them, they're considered like the best, like Skyfall or whatever. They wrote Johnny English together. They're the people that wrote the Rowan Atkinson James Bond parody, like right after they did the last Pierce Brosnan one. Yeah, which I think is so fucking funny.
It's so funny that Johnny English exists. They were like, well, we did Austin Powers, let's do another.
Yeah.
Oh!
Oh, shit.
Trivia or physical challenge, one of you. I'm sorry he did the horn. It means one of you has to go.
I'll do a physical challenge.
Okay, for prosperity, Elton wrote the rest of the physical challenge.
I did.
Which to me reads like they're going to be hard.
Elton wrote some group physical challenges.
I did write some group ones. Okay, as a group, name 5 U.S. presidents. Whoever names the most gets the points.
All right.
What do we start?
Go!
First of all,
Abraham Lincoln. George Washington.
all right.
Barack Obama. Donald Trump. Joe Biden.
Oh my God, you
All
got fucked. Wow!
George W. Bush, Bill
You
Clinton.
lost? What are you even doing, man?
What? What do you mean? How did
You
I
already
lose?
lost, man! Nissa blew you out of the
the
water!
rules of this aren't clear.
No, they're not.
We don't even have points assigned to this one.
That's 25 points. I'm saying 5 for
Chris,
every president.
Chris, if you can name, who were the 2 you named?
George W. Bush, George H.W. Bush, then I said Bill Clinton.
If you can name 2 more, I'll give you the points as well.
Oh, okay. Jimmy Carter, Ronald Reagan,
that's it.
Eisenhower.
Chris.
Oh, he ran away with it.
Oh, Chris, you're going.
I could keep
going.
going.
Wow.
FDR.
Anyways, loved that they slagged off Reagan right in the beginning of this movie.
Oh, so good.
Oh,
So good.
really sent me into 12th gear.
Love it.
So from the rip, we meet our main character, High. High is played by Nicolas Cage.
Love it.
Nicolas Cage does a great job. He looks very zany, very handsome, in a disheveled kind of Kramer way.
It's the dream, man.
Yeah. He is a repeat offender. And we meet with the first time that he meets Edwina, his future wife.
Holly Hunter.
She is a police officer taking his mugshots.
And I absolutely love all of his dialogue immediately.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
What got you?
Oh, what got me?
Yeah,
You
the
know,
Ronald
just
Reagan stuff.
The Ronald Reagan stuff.
Yeah.
The
People tell me he's not a bad guy. There must have been something going on with his cabinet or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think that you're gonna? Do you think you're gonna offend again, High? No, sir. I don't think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my favorite running joke through the movie is that that board he's in front of are just high school teachers, basically.
He repeat offends for a while. There's one time when he is being booked where Edwina's crying, and Ed says that her fiance recently broke off the engagement with her. And then a little while later, he's sitting in his prison cell, and the gentleman who is bunked above him is saying, and when we didn't have meat, we ate rabbit. And when we didn't have rabbit, we ate crawdads. And we didn't have crawdads, we ate sand. He's like, you ate what? And he's like, we ate sand.
So
And he starts to think about, maybe there is more on the outside. And he decides to, when he gets out, when he's a free man, after the gag in front of the school board, where They say, we feel like we're getting the vibe that you're just telling us what we want to hear. And he's like, well, yes, sir, I am. And he's like, we just told you not to do that.
Well, what we want to hear is the truth. Yeah. Well, then, yes, sir, I am telling you what you want to hear.
Yeah. Good little bit. But he barges in and proposes to Edwina right there on the spot. They get married, and everything's great for a little while. They get set up by Edwina's dad with like a little mobile home, and sets up high with a job, putting holes in sheet metal. And there's that guy who keeps telling the same story over and over again, but he loves it because he says it's like prison, but at the end of the week you get a paycheck, and every night I come home, Edwina's there. And they're watching sunsets together and stuff, and it's beautiful. Cute. It's great.
The cutest thing.
The salad days.
The salad days. He's like, I'm told they're the salad days or whatever they call it or something like that. Yeah.
I love Smack DeMarco.
I love the shot of them on the shitty lawn chairs looking at the sunset.
And then she goes, that was beautiful or something.
Yeah, and on the cover of the VHS, it's got them with the baby, and I was like, ooh, can't wait till they do this again later. And they don't. The cover of the VHS lied to me.
That would be great.
Yeah, it'd be very cute.
But anyways, there's trouble in paradise because Edwina would like to become a mother. They're having some trouble. She goes to a doctor. Doctor tells her, what does he say? He says something like, but the doctor was adamant that her insides were a barren landscape where my seed could plant no roots. Yeah, something like that.
It was a rocky landscape where my seed could not take hold.
Simultaneously, the fucking unpainted furniture king of Arizona.
Nathan, Arizona.
Oh, I said something. Okay.
While Nick's away, the point gremlin will play. This is.
Go on.
You get a physical challenge because I don't let you choose as the point gremlin.
You're gonna want to take the reins every now and again so you can say some of these words for points.
Okay, we'll start with Nissa then.
Okay.
But this is a physical challenge. Nissa, do an impression without being a racist.
Of who?
Your choice.
Bonus points.
Dealer's choice.
My name is Nissa. I'm from Paris. I
Oh.
like to smoke the cigarette.
Whoa.
Eat a
That's pretty
little
good.
bit of chocolate.
Wow.
Do all French people? I'm French.
Are you?
Do we all smoke cigarettes?
No,
I've never
French.
smoked a cigarette a day in my goddamn life.
You
Yeah,
ever-
Chris!
You ever been to France a day in your goddamn life?
Chris!
My turn to do an impression?
Yes.
It could also just be an accent, because I think that's one of these on here is to just do an accent.
It is not. Anyways.
Hey, what the fuck you doing with that horn, huh? Give me the horn. Give me the horn. What are you doing? Give me the horn. Stop looking at me like an idiot. Give me the horn. Thank you.
I don't know who that was an impression
Hold
of.
on. Chris?
Yeah.
How many points is this worth?
Yeah.
11? Yeah. Chris,
Yeah.
if I... Give me this. I'm going to write down who I think you're doing an impression of.
Yeah.
You're both going to get points, because yours is great, too.
Thanks.
But if I guess this right, you get 22 points. Hold on. Chris, who's that impression of?
Marky Mark.
Marky Mark.
Do I get bonus points because it was racist?
Yes, he's a
Because he's a
racist.
racist.
He's a racist, so you get 1 bonus point. And I wrote down Marky Mark, so you get another one, so you get 24
really
points.
good.
And then so you get 11.
So anyways,
Baron.
we're at Nathan, Arizona. Nathan, Arizona and his wife have had 4 children. Larry, Harry, Nathan Jr., and I'm going to say
5.
Jerry.
Yeah, I
Could be
think
they're
it's 5,
5.
yeah.
They have 5
Yeah, it is
children.
5.
AKA,
Gaggle of them.
AKA more than they can handle.
Love it.
And Edwina has an idea. They've got more than they can handle. So they go to snatch up a baby. And this is probably the first time I can remember it getting very slapsticky and like screwball-y. Because he's like, for some reason, messing with all the babies and like taking them out of the crib and put them in the crib. It's almost like he's trying to decide which one to take.
So
Yeah.
funny. And also
Yeah.
trying to console all them at the same time.
And try
Now,
to figure out how to take care of them. Yeah.
I do have a note here. Nick usually takes notes, but he has no notes today.
It's true, I was too busy with the game show that, if I'm being honest, isn't really going well.
It's not really going well. This gremlin is sad. But I do love the like whataboutism of southern idioms. Like
Okay.
Nathan, Arizona, with the if a frog had wings, it wouldn't bump its ass a hopping.
Yeah.
You know, just
Yeah.
like
Or like there's an old one that's something like if I say shit jump, you say how high kind of a thing.
yeah, just like
Yeah.
how does that spur me along. How does
Yeah.
that answer my question?
It's supposed to scare you.
I do love. I can't remember what exactly he says, but it's right before the frog bumps his ass thing. He ends it with, "Or my name ain't Nathan Arizona."
Yeah.
He does that a couple times. Yeah.
But I love that he just does it casually on the phone with other people.
So basically, eventually he goes back to the car and he's like, "Hey, I can't do this kind of thing."
So funny, so funny.
Yeah, she's like, "I want my baby, I want my baby," and she
We'll
rolls
come
up
back
the door.
later.
Yeah. So he goes up there, he gets a baby. He thinks he took Nathan Jr., which is very funny that he keeps saying that when they're in the car. She's like,
Pretty sure.
I love him. He's like, "I think I took Nathan Jr."
I also love
That's
that.
the best one.
Yeah.
I also
the
love
best
that
one.
they keep calling him Nathan Jr.
Yeah, and I love when he's in the car and he's like, "Those other babies are pretty good, but this is the best one. I got
Got
the
a
best one."
crazy look in his eyes, just
Yeah.
like, this is the best one.
Yeah, I got the best one. Very good.
He's like, and they'll be fine. They got other babies that are pretty close.
Yeah.
But we got the best one.
Yeah. They go home. They've decorated, welcome home, son, all kinds of stuff like that. He is switching out the toy because he can't decide which toy he wants to be on the bed when Nathan comes in and stuff. It's very sweet.
Puts away his Playboys.
Puts away his
Looks at the
Playboys.
Playboys one more time.
One
puts
more
away the
time. Puts away the
Playboys.
Playboys.
I didn't get this part. He shoves it under his bed. I get that. But then he goes, ugh, and he pulls it back out, flips to a certain page, and then puts it back under the bed.
One last glance.
Yeah.
I thought, I couldn't tell if it was that or if he was like,
He's horny.
I want to see this immediately when I pull it out.
Oh, maybe. I mean, what's the difference?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we then cut to his buddies, John Goodman and John Goodman's younger brother, breaking out of prison in the funniest way I've ever seen in my goddamn life. His head emerges from the wood. He's just going, "Oh!"
That
Crawling out of the most...
reminded me of like Lord of the Rings, where like the orcs are being born.
Yeah, it's so funny because I was thinking Jim Carrey coming out of the rhino a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved it especially because when he's in jail, High is in jail at the beginning and it's showing him with his groups and stuff like that. I remember going, oh, cool, John Goodman's in this movie. And then so much time passes that when he bursts out of the ground, I'm like, oh, yeah, John Goodman's in this movie.
Yeah. And they show up and they have a rip-roaring good time, except Edwina is like, "Nah, we have a baby and these are degenerates. I don't want degenerates
here, honey.
in my house."
But I like that she's a little lenient and still pretty nice about it. She's like, y'all can hang out and catch up, but I want you gone by tomorrow.
Yeah. I will also say, I don't know if you guys get this impression, but the whole movie, the way John Goodman plays the character, it's as if he's suspicious of what angle High's working. Like, it almost seems like I was tense the whole time because it seemed like he was always on the cusp of finding out that they had kidnapped the baby.
Yeah.
First time you get the hint of it is the welcome home son, where's he been? And they're like, the Arizona. He's like, hi, I thought your parents were dead. And he's like, yeah, we just thought they should see their graveyard proper. Anyway, so and then later on he says the thing he brings up, like, oh, in the news I stole that baby or whatever. Someone's got to really be thinking like, some next level shit to be pulling some stuff like that kind of a thing, you know what I mean? Just put it in there, but the whole time I kind of got this, like, he's always kind of quiet and like listening almost, like, I don't know if he's just
Yeah.
I don't know, it's interesting.
That's
Very
fine.
interesting.
I just read him as a bumbling idiot the whole time. But
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he kind of is a bumbling idiot the whole time.
For sure.
Definitely rides that line.
I know what you mean. I didn't really pick up on it, but now that I think about it, yeah, absolutely. I just kind of like Elton the entire time I was watching. I was like, I just love John Goodman.
Yeah.
I love everything he's in.
They wake up the next morning, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he says you guys kind of got to be gone. We have real friends coming over.
Yeah.
And he says, I mean respectable friends, kind of a thing. Like, what Edwin was trying to say is,
Well, he
you guys
says
are a
that
couple
you
of
guys-
jailbirds and you don't want to be seen around here, kind of a thing, because
Yeah.
you're wanted, you're on the lam, kind of stuff.
He just kicks him out for the day.
Yeah.
He just says leave for the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do.
Oh, yeah, at first he says, I want to miss this engagement. I think I'm going to miss this one and
Yeah.
have some beers with the boys. Yeah.
You don't
And he's
need
like,
me there.
or maybe that's not such a good idea.
And he looks like the saddest puppy I've ever seen
Yeah.
in my life. Just
Yeah. Which is the
broken at
first
breakfast.
the first hint you get of him later on when he talks about the whole thing, where he's like, he brings it up to his boss, where he's like, you ever feel like there's this pressure pressing down on you, kind of, because he's got that whole thing where like he still feels the undercurrent of like the criminal life pulling him a little bit.
So then the respectable
Frances McDonald.
yeah.
McDermott. What's her name?
Frances McDormand. Oh, Dot.
No,
Dot.
what's the actress's name?
Frances McDormand.
McDormand, McDonald,
McDormand.
McDermott. Anyone else know either?
Yeah.
Of you?
It's,
I think it's been
I know
Gorman.
for certain
I think, yeah,
it's
I think
McDormand.
Yeah.
I don't think it's McDonald.
But anyways, his boss and his boss's wife come over and they have a fucking slew of children. They are, again, made me laugh out loud. There's one walking around with a stick or a bat just smashing stuff. So funny.
Writing fart on the wall.
Yeah.
I feel like the dumbest man on the planet every time something like this happens, but when that kid writes fart on the wall, I was trying to hold it back because I didn't want to embarrass myself in front of Chris. I could have cried laughing.
Yeah.
Like I remember
I did.
Like I can't remember what movie it is, but there's like it's Jimmy Neutron.
Yeah.
And Jimmy Neutron, when all the parents leave, it's like the next morning, all the kids are like hungover or whatever. Jimmy Neutron's talking to somebody, and just in the background, someone has just written the word poop on the wall, and it makes me laugh so hard.
Nicholas, you've been entered into the game by the point gremlin. Your challenge. Fart. Right now.
I know improv is supposed to be yes and, but you're my point gremlin. You live in my basement. This isn't how this works. Chris.
Yeah.
Trivia and physical challenge.
Let's do a trivia. We've done a couple physical challenges now.
Okay.
Would have been funnier if you farted.
If I had one in me, I would have done it.
It's worth no points.
It's worth no points. That's what I do. I'm not playing that game.
I have to use either all or none of my mental capacity on this next question. I can't decide which it's going to be.
All.
Okay.
In the James Bond films, James Bond's greatest enemies come from the supervillain group named Spectre. Spectre
You're gonna
is...
ask me what it stands for, aren't you?
What does Spectre stand for?
Is that really what it is?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I won't forget this time. Nissa can steal. I'll give you 5 points for every one you get right. It's S-P-E-C... Here, I can write it down for you. Would you like that?
I don't know if it's going to help me.
It's S-P-E-C-T-R-E.
Specialized? Special? Is that the first one? Special?
You gotta give me all of them. I'll tell you how many you get right afterwards.
Special Enterprise Electoral College to redefine electricity.
You got one of them.
It was
Nissa, can you do any
specialized.
better?
What'd you say?
Specialized Specialized Electoral College to redefine energy.
Did you miss the P?
I guess I did.
Specialized, I guess.
I think it is. I think that's how it goes in the
Sector.
movie too, because I remember that I pegged that as being.
I don't know, young man. I'm just a gremlin.
There's no way Specialized is not the one I got right. Is what I'm gonna say. There's no way electoral college to redefine energy is any of the, or maybe energy is the one at the end. I don't know, but I think it's Specialized.
Interesting. I don't know. If
Just
I
think of bad guy shit. What were these letters? Just think of...
Spies.
Okay.
Evil.
Spies, pies. It's a shopping list.
Spies, pies, eggs.
I'm gonna do specialized too. Specialized, terrorist.
Got the T. They don't have to be in
Special-
order.
Terrorist, rectifying, enterprise.
You both got one right.
It was specialized.
It's special, but I think that it is absolutely insane that you got that S and P or one word, because that's bananas. But
That's the
got
only thing I remembered. That's
Yeah,
the
you
only
got
thing.
That's some
terrorism
NASA
right.
shit, yeah.
Terrorism?
Yes, it is special executive for counterintelligence, terrorism, revenge, and extortion.
Oh.
Revenge.
Extortion.
Counterintelligence.
75-cent word.
Special.
Yeah.
Extortion.
You both get 5 points.
Ooh, nice.
Yay.
That's fun.
Bunch of
Up
washes
top.
going on over here.
Anyways, while the kids are running amok, his boss is telling Polish jokes.
Oh God.
What was up with that?
Yeah.
Because he just sucks.
Is that a thing?
Well, I think it's to show that Nicolas Cage there has just like a good head on his shoulders.
Yeah. Because he
you
says
know?
he says something like, how many Polish people does it take to screw in a light bulb or whatever? And he's like, I don't know.
I don't know.
Ed, or whatever his name is. I don't know, Greg.
Yeah.
And he's like, 3, and he starts doubling over laughing or whatever, and he's like, okay, Ed, or something like that. He's like, I don't really get that one or whatever. And he's like, oh, wait, no, I told it wrong. He's like, why does it take 3 Polacks to screw in a light bulb or whatever? And he's like, why is that, Greg? And he's like, because they're so damn dumb or something. He slaps his knee or whatever. And he's like, you don't get that one? He's like, don't worry, it's a on the way home or something like that. And he's like, I'm already home, Ed.
It's what I love it because it's what you and I spent arguably too long talking about last week.
Yeah.
Is he's just one of those guys where it's like Pollock jokes and racist jokes and stuff like that too. And they're like, this is still
That's
peak.
the pinnacle of,
This is still peak comedy.
Yeah.
In 1987, Nicolas Cage was like, I don't know about that woman.
Yeah, and I especially love the payoff later when
Yes.
he's telling it to a Polish police officer.
So funny. Kowalski.
Yeah.
So fucking funny. But we'll get there in due time.
Right. Well, that and the coming back home with no kid, or coming back to the car with no kid, because he just doesn't feel like he can separate this family. Oh, I think
Also-
that he's got such a kind head on his shoulders. I'm sorry.
What's High's last name?
Crawdad?
Crawdad?
I can't remember. What was it?
It's like McGillicuddy or something like that.
You're close.
McDonough.
McDonough. I love when they get there.
Get off Mr. McDonough's car.
Exactly. Mr. McDonough's cars all over.
Yeah, they're all on top of it.
Yeah, it's the reveal of all of the kids at once.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
great.
It's a lot of great visual gags. I'll take the time now to say that this reminds me of Evil Dead if it weren't about ghosts in the woods.
Oh yeah, did you get to his spooky dream yet?
Yeah,
it happened earlier.
It does happen early. He's like, I have a dream of hell coming on a motorcycle and stuff. Yeah.
Such a good effect too.
Yeah.
Such a good dream. I love this part of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. I thought I wasn't going to like the over-the-top bounty hunter, but I do. I love the
yeah.
over-the-top
Yeah,
bounty
me
hunter.
too.
I thought it was going to be too
That's why not.
corny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really do like him. The dream is he loves hurting especially helpless and innocent things. Whatever. He's like throwing a grenade at a rabbit and as he drives past a flower, it just catches on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Great
it's
stuff.
hard being a small thing.
Yeah. But anyways, then there's a point where they're having dinner at a picnic table, and Dot is like, "You guys don't have a position for him. You have to do that." And these are all things that High has to take care of. And under the weight of all that responsibility, he's kind of buckling, and he's out in the field with his boss. And he tries to confide in his boss. He's like, "You ever feel like there's just something pressing down on her?" He's like, "Hey, you're a married man. You got kids. You got responsibility now." And he's like, "I know how I could help you." Whatever. He's like, "What do you think of Dot?" He's like, I don't know. She seems like a fine woman. He's like, "Well, she thinks you're cute." And he's like, "Oh, no kidding," kind of a thing. And he's like, "Yeah, and I'll tell you what. I think Ed ain't bad looking either." And he's like, "What are you talking about?" And he's like, "Talking about swingers, man. I.e., me and Dot, we swing. Talking about swinging or whatever." And he punches out his boss and says, "You keep your hands off or whatever." And he runs, and the family leaves and all that kind of stuff. And then there's a little scene in the car where Edwina's asking him what happened or whatever. Why'd you punch out your boss? And he's like, you won't say it to her.
Love it.
Yeah, she basically, is like, you're going to lose your job over this kind of a thing. Right.
He kind of gets a little bit of a smile. It's
Yeah.
like, yeah, I am going to lose my
Yeah.
job.
Yeah, I love it because I feel like watching it, I'm like, oh yeah, no, if this was me and my partner in the situation, I immediately would be like, that guy was trying to fuck all of us.
Yeah.
But I love it, and I think it fits High's character so much of him just being like, no, I do not want my wife to know that.
This kicks off one of my favorite fun scenes in any movie ever. The fucking chase is so much fun.
Oh, it's so good.
This is so much fun.
so good.
Yes.
When so they're in the car lot of the convenience store that he keeps driving past. He's like, sometimes I find myself after work just driving past convenience stores. They're not even on the way home.
Oh yeah, that aren't on the way home.
But anyways, they stop there because he's like, we need diapers or whatever, and he goes in and he gets pantyhose. And he's like, all right, son, wake up. I love that he says that to the guy over the counter.
I love that he says it from the other side of the store.
Guy immediately hits the button and he's like, yeah, I'm not paying for these, whatever. And she's playing with Nathan Jr. And she looks up and sees what High is up to, and is just like, oh, you son of a bitch, you son of a bitch.
Yeah.
I love that thing.
And she drives off.
I love she gets out of the car. You son of a bitch! And around the other side of the car.
And
he's like, you gotta hurry up. The missus is real, man.
I will also, yeah, that's very funny.
We're about to pop, honey.
Another thing I love about this movie, it's like a mix. It's like this weird mix of like slapstick and silly, but so beautiful. Like just in the background, all the banjo and the like the yodeling.
Yeah.
The soundtrack is so beautiful. It's like fun and beautiful at the same time.
Yeah,
It's so weird. But he's just running around while it's just like banjo stuff and just like it's got like this like yearning feel to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's I will also mention that the Ghost Rider is tracking John Goodman and John Goodman's younger brother. We'll get to that in a second though. But yeah, I love that as soon as the cops like pull up, they barrel up, and one of the cops is hanging out of the window to shoot the gun, and he falls out. So funny.
Oh yeah.
I especially love.
These are arguably the funniest cops I've ever seen in a movie.
For real.
Just how hard they're going the entire time.
bang, bang, bang.
Yeah.
The kid with the gun.
Yeah.
That 12-foot long gun just
Yeah.
sticking out, dirty, hairy pistol.
Hyde jumps into a backyard. Hyde jumps into a backyard, and there's a dog, and he gets saved by the bell with that dog. And
Forgot about the dogs.
yes, and then he runs into that house. I love him running through that house. It's euphoric. It's so much fun, and the fucking cops running in too, and then the dog's running in later, and he ends up in a grocery store, and the fucking guy working the cash register at the grocery store is even firing a gun at him, and like the cops are chasing him, and the old lady.
He looks so serene. He's just like, another fucking day in the office, you know. Like, guy with the shotgun blasts 2 at him. He's like, all right, man.
I love when he leaves the convenience store and he's running from the cops. They like shoot the diapers out of his hand, and then 4 minutes later, when he was running through the grocery store, he picks up more diapers.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then later he picks them up in the cart over. But the whole time,
oh, honey, make it right here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, the whole time, Holly Hunter is also going back for him. Eventually, she does catch up to him, save him, but only after he's used an old man. He's held up an old man at the gunpoint for the car, kind of, but in a nice way, a little bit. That's before they even get in the house, I believe. But anyways.
Can I stop?
Yeah. But they're driving off, and yes, obviously Holly Hunter is very mad at him. Ed is very, very mad at him, and yes, there's a very funny bit where he keeps saying, right here, honey, left here, honey, we're here. She goes to bed very angry, tells the boys they gotta get out, the 2 jailbirds who have, broken out. I do like that earlier, we barreled past that, I do like that little joke where he's, like, trying to, like, make it sound nice for her, because she's, like, a woman, like, there was a little bit of that where, like, he's like, oh, who wears the pants here and stuff like that, but anyways, John Goodman is like, now, I wouldn't say we broke out so much as we no longer felt that the facility was doing any good for us anymore. So we decided to emancipate ourselves of our own volition, man.
Right.
Yeah. But anyways, after she goes to bed, John Goodman clues them into, John Goodman clues High into the whole thing where like the farmers get their like government subsidies for their like crop or whatever on this one day in this one bank, because where all the farmers in the area go, and that's the one time when the bank has all that money on hand, and like, you know, we can hit this and then start off this whole spree, and kind of like gets the gears turning in High's head, like the straw that broke the camel's back, basically, like of like him being like, you know what, you know, John Goodman's right, I do no good for Ed, I'm not going to do any good for this kid. So he like falls asleep writing this note about how like, I'm sorry, I can't be the man you need, and I can't be the man that the baby needs or whatever. I'm just going to go live a life of crime. But he falls asleep at the table and wakes up to John Goodman and the brother. They talk for a second, I think, before there's a knock at the door, and it's his boss telling him a couple of things. He's got like a neck brace on and stuff. And he's like, 1 thing, don't come any closer. 2, you're fired. He's like, I kind of figured that. And he's like, 3, don't think you don't know, I know where that baby came from, whatever. And he's like, oh God, like, what are you gonna, like, you know, turn us in kind of thing? He's like, no, we want the baby. It's like,
Dot said she wants to cuddle with it.
Yeah, he's like, you got 24 hours to break the news to Ed. I'm gonna be back here for the baby. And I love that running gag that everybody falls in love with the baby. Like, that's the first time he falls in love.
He's the best baby. So Nathan Jr.'s the best baby.
I'd say, I love that he peels off. He's like, I'll be back here tomorrow for that baby.
the straight neck spit and the throw of the newspaper kills me. Oh my God.
And I love the comedic playing of like the moral relativism, like lawlessness of like the West kind of a thing, where like nobody's actually interested in like justice. It's all this like justice relative to them. Like, you know, he knows that they've stolen the baby, but he doesn't care about it in a justice sense. He just figures, well, then I have enough leverage to get the baby from you, so I'm going to take the baby from you because I want the baby, because I need the baby.
Right.
You know
what does High say? There's what is right, and there's what is right, and never the twain shall meet.
Yeah. And
no one said any of the secret words. We just have so many of these left.
Well, what has changed? Because last time, I think one of the secret words was
And of.
Yeah. What did you make it? Like fucking Matrix or like schematics or some ligaments? Like.
No, I made it easier on you. I'm not going to tell you because we still got a lot of episode left.
Okay.
That's not true. We're almost done.
We are almost done. We're really close.
This one is for both of you. My assistant, Points Goblin. He doesn't look it because he's just hard to look at. But he's real skittish. So I'll give you some time to think about it. Plan your attack. First one of you to legitimately scare him.
Ah! That scared me, actually.
All right, Nissa, you get 30 points.
I kept my eyes closed.
Not bad.
Matter of fact, that was actually scary. You got me. Good job, Nissa. Shishwang.
Points in the bag. The big old points bag.
But that's not what we're talking about.
So from there, I think... oh, yeah, that's right. He goes back in the house.
I feel like he just gets these automatically. Just give him 10 points.
No, it's minus. I'll make him lose 10 points.
Okay, fine. Chris, unfortunately, for Sweat the Small Stuff, you lose 10 points.
So the small stuff, what does that mean?
You're a stressed guy. I feel like you're a stressed guy, pretty usually.
Oh, okay. Anyways,
And plus it makes the game closer.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was doing.
So John Goodman and his younger brother have overheard the commotion about the baby. They've clued in and they figure we're gonna get that reward money. So when they go inside, just slapstick fighting again. Something that reminds me of. And I also forgot to mention the Evil Dead reference. The cam, the cam that like goes all the way up and then it ends on someone going when the fucking the biker shows up at Nathan Unpainted's house.
The cop gets bowled over by that woman.
Yeah, at the store, and he basically says, "I'll get that baby for you," because he's been tracking the fucking, the couple, the jailbirds, or whatever, and he notices the baby crying. And he's like, "Oh, the baby." We also barreled past Nathan Unpainted hanging out at his house with the cops, or whatever. When he's like, "Why are you guys all hanging out in the one house where I know my son isn't in the state of Arizona?" Like, he's great in that scene. I love it. It's so good.
Yeah, it's him arguing with the FBI and the cop arguing with the FBI, and the FBI arguing with the cop. It's so good.
Yeah.
Federal BI.
Federal BI!
Yeah, the Federal BI.
I also love it when they're like hounding him about like what his son was wearing. He's like, I don't know.
Jammies.
Jammies.
Had Yoda's on him or something. I seriously... This is one movie where I want to talk about every single second of this movie. It's such a pain being on this podcast because I want to... You need to watch this movie. I'm going to grade it right now. It's an A++ to me. I fucking am in love with this movie.
Yeah, it's an A+ for me too.
Oh.
But we have more podcasts.
But
yeah, it is so funny.
So many more physical jams.
Because the thing I love about the "what was he wearing" thing is the cop literally says, "Well, if we don't know what he's wearing, we can't put out an all points bulletin."
So good. It's just like it's something I feel with all the Coen Brothers movies, except for maybe No Country for Old Men. Is there so much arguably hilarious stuff that are just like real innocuous sentences that are so normal that they don't stick in my brain, where I'm like, I know I thought this movie was really funny, but I can't like quote any of it to you. Like everything you guys are doing is making me laugh again because I immediately forgot it.
So where we're actually at is John Goodman and his brother are going to actually pull off the bank robbery, but they're falling in love with the baby. As everybody does. They very quickly decide they don't want the reward money. They're just interested in robbing the bank. One of the things they do is they stop at a little convenience store to get diapers and shit because the baby has shit. And I love that they tell the old man to lay down and count to 100 or 820 or something like that. And he's like, "And I'll be back in 5 minutes," or whatever, to check. And I love the comedy of errors that has them coming back because they forgot the baby. So when he gets there, he's at like 740 Mississippi, 741 Mississippi. He's
counting back down.
Yeah. He's like, "Oh, to hell with this," or whatever. And he stands up and he sees them barreling towards him. He's like, "Oh, 739 Mississippi, 738 Mississippi."
Also, the scene of him telling him to count, it looks, I mean, it makes sense because it's the same guys, but it feels exactly like the scene from No Country for Old Men with the quarter. Yeah, it's great.
Yeah. So they bust into the bank. John Goodman and his younger brother, and he's like, "All right, everybody freeze, get on the ground," or whatever. And there's the old man who's like, "Well, which is it, son? I can't freeze because if I freeze, I can't get on the ground, and I can't get on the ground because, well, if I'm supposed to freeze, then I'd be moving." Yeah. And there's just a bunch of little stuff like that. Like his little brother calls him by his name. He's like, "Don't call me by my name. That's the thing." He's like, "Code names." Like, "Yeah, code names." Yeah, we're using code names, by the way. Like, yeah, great stuff. Woman puts the blue paint canister in the bag or whatever. They go off in the car. They're like, "Boy, look at all this money, but where's baby?" And they turn around again for baby. But the shit blows up. The fucking blue canister. They're covered in blue. Very funny to me. They're driving. They're trying to see what's coming up. What do they see coming up at them? Oh, they see literally Ed and Hi, who at this point have had that conversation where she's like, "We're kind of no good for each other. Like, it was my idea, and if I had that idea, that means that I'm even worse than you," kind of a thing. And if we're both bad, then we're no good for each other, kind of a thing. So if we can't get this baby back, I don't want to continue living. And even if I do get the baby back, I don't want to continue living with you.
Well, and I love so much that they have Ed not just be a one note, "I want to have a kid." She recognizes that I want to have this kid. I wanted it too badly. I love Ed, or I love Hi, but maybe I acted poorly and I've screwed up our relationship. You know, I know that it's not all Hi's fault, and I get that I am a problem in this relationship as well, and I think that we need to break it up. But I think what she means to say is that they need to have another talk about it. But that's what Nathan Arizona's for. Anyways.
So insightful. As always.
I'm just a gremlin.
Oh, someone said something?
Pick a person. It doesn't
pick
matter.
a person?
Is the thing to kick someone? Oh.
Please no.
I love kicking!
Yeah, I'm thinking of one person in this room. Kick them. You're right.
Better than any of the physical challenges I wrote in that half hour you gave me.
As convincingly as you possibly can, give yourself a mustache.
If you have a fake mustache, I'm going to leave.
I'm gonna shit, yeah. I'm gonna be so mad. Because that means because Elton wrote this one, that means that the two of you are in on it together.
In cahoots?
That's not bad, you're hitting the points. Let's see, you get 22 points.
Yay!
I think Hi and Ed realized the baby's still at the bank.
Correct? Well,
Yes.
they were almost to the bank, and they passed by the brothers.
Yeah.
But they said, please just just take us with you so we can get to the baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
We just want the baby to be safe.
Yeah. So they go to the bank, and the baby's in the middle of the road, but Ghost Rider picks up baby, starts shooting at Ed and Hyde and stuff like that. Beats up Hyde. Beats up Hi. They have the same tattoo, which is a very funny
It wasn't
look.
really addressed. I thought
It
he was
wasn't.
gonna like point to it.
Yeah,
and
be like, oh, they go like,
brother.
oh, yeah.
I was hoping so.
Kind of happens.
Yeah.
So,
Also, I love the baby being on front of the motorcycle.
yeah.
That was
Ugh.
the funniest
Yeah.
thing.
Hyde blows up Ghost Rider with a grenade.
Oh, his own grenades.
Yeah. And then Hi and Ed decide to return Nathan Jr. They put him in there, and Nathan, unpainted, comes up or whatever, and he basically says, what the hell, how? You know anything about a Leonard Bloom or whatever? And he's like, what, sir, no, whatever? And he's like, well, how the hell did you end up with this, with my baby, kind of a thing? He's like, sir, reward situations are usually no questions asked.
Oh, I love that.
He's like, are they really? And he's like, I believe so, sir, something like that. But anyways, long story short, he's like, you took the baby, kind of a thing. He's like, yes, sir, we did. My wife's barren and all that kind of stuff. And we figured you had more than you can handle. And they give their little story, whatever. And Nathan's like, he's like, you can call the authorities if you want. Hi says, he's like, he's like, it was all my doing. She had nothing to do with it. You know, Edwina was not involved in this forever. He's like, I'm not going to call the authorities, whatever. And they talk a little bit about how they want to break up, so they're no good for each other. And he's like, that's about the dumbest shit I ever heard. I'm going to go to bed because I'd be really sad if my wife left me, kind of a thing. I couldn't even think about it. So why don't you guys sleep on it for at least a night or whatever. And Hi goes home, and he has a very beautiful dream where he says that, he saw like the brothers decide to return themselves to jail and all that kind of stuff. And he says, and then I dreamt about, an old couple and the kids and the grandkids coming home. And like, I felt like it was me and Edwina or whatever, but it was a long, long, long time off kind of a thing. And it's very beautiful. It's a very nice little scene. And that's how the movie wraps up.
What's the joke at the end that he says? Like, somewhere and wherever.
Somewhere in Arizona, or maybe somewhere else.
Then he goes, and it was this and this and this and this, or I don't know, maybe it was Utah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But I think these last two scenes are arguably the best two scenes of the movie.
Besides the
Agreed.
chase. I mean, the chase is pretty good.
Yeah, Chase killed me.
And my favorite thing about, like,
The dream is great, though. The dream is very nice.
great. And I love the
Bring
scene
a
with
tear to your eye.
Nathan Arizona. And my favorite thing about the scene with Nathan Arizona is it's so sweet and it's so touching and he's so nice and like it's like, oh great, this is just the best ending that there possibly could be. But I love that the entire time that Nathan Arizona has a gun in his hand.
Even when he goes into the baby
yeah.
carriage. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, I love the little detail of him saying like, how they had 5 kids and whatever. And he's like, maybe technology can catch up with you guys because it caught up with us and we had 5 kids.
Yeah,
And I'm like,
exactly.
what a beautiful little hopeful ending.
Yeah,
Oh.
honestly. Yeah. Absolutely.
I never rewatch movies. I would watch this movie again right now.
Yeah,
I just
literally.
watched it earlier today. I would watch this movie 3 times in a row. Oh man.
Good. It was a good movie.
Yeah, I think this is, I would consider it a favorite of mine. I think this may be one of my favorite comedies for sure. I think this ranks in the top 5 for comedies. I think it's hilarious. I think it's a good time. As you said, it's full of like a hopefulness. There's a bit of yearning in there. It's a little bittersweet. It's beautiful. It's funny. It's thrilling. It's a screwball comedy, I guess. This is what a screwball comedy is.
Mm.
So
Netflix describes it as a farce.
yeah.
It's true.
Yeah. And me and Elton already gave our grades earlier, but yeah, I think this is an A+ for me. This is a great movie. There was a time when I was watching it where I was like, I think this is probably about a B+, and then it just kept going, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. B+ out the window. This is a great, great, great movie. I think it's really something special.
Yeah, I'd give it a solid A.
Yeah?
I think going into it, I was a little... I'm not always a huge fan of films where the protagonists who you're rooting for make just like a really bad decision.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my god, what are we gonna do about this? And I'm anxious.
Yeah, have you seen Fargo?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Very
Like,
similar.
yeah.
But I
William
love
H.
Fargo,
Macy.
so- But then, kind of like similar. Just kept getting better, and I really liked the ending as well.
Yeah.
Wholesome ending.
I'm probably going to give this I'm going to give this an A-, but I think it's going to be like, I can't remember what the other ones are. I have some that are ungraded on mine. I'm going to give this one a solid A- right now. But it's one of those movies that when we finished it last night, I was like you. I was like, this is a solid B+. I really liked it. But 24 hours have passed, and the more and more I think of it, I'm like, that movie is pretty good.
Yeah.
And it's just getting better and better the more I think about it. So I'm going to say give me a day and a half, and I'm probably going to be at an A+ probably. But for right now, A-.
Wow.
It's like I always say, we agree too much. So we have a few... You don't get to do the bell.
Oh, okay.
We got a few orders of business. You guys have one more physical challenge that Elton's Points Goblin is super excited about.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
But it's going to be a little intensive. So before we do that, we'll do our housekeeping real quick. Chris, what are we going to watch next week?
Banshees of Worcestershire.
Oh, no way?
And your choice. That's
my choice?
Yeah.
Chris, I was thinking about this real hard the other day. We're at the point where I don't know all the movies we've done. Have we done The Nice Guys yet?
No. We've done Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
Do you want to do The Nice Guys?
That's fine. It's your pick.
All right, before The Mattress Man, that's that.
Mm-hmm.
One last physical challenge for the both of you.
Oh, God.
And again, cannot stress enough. The physical challenges were done by Elton this week, Points Goblin. The first one of you, you're so close in points. First one of you that can find the best piece of street garbage wins.
The best piece of street garbage.
We have a door. We got a door here. We got a door over there, and we got a door going out of Chris's room. So the best. So the first, go outside, find something that you think I'll think is cool.
My God.
All right, and Points Goblin. Points Goblin will both think about it.
Oh. I got this dumbass hat on too.
Nissa, take the Sherlock Holmes jacket. It'll make you smarter.
I look like Scott Moser without a beard.
I'm really hot already. It's okay.
I'm really...
Do you want to do our own little podcast, or have you seen anything cool lately?
Have I seen anything cool? I watched Four Samosas last night.
Like, I'll buy this and use it as a cover of my book, but then the person who uses it as the cover of their book, they'll get in legal trouble, not the person who sold it.
Right.
And it sucks. And I think we should all knock it off. Close our eyes.
Closed!
Don't remember you being in charge here, but whatever.
I remember being a goblin.
Noise happening. All right, keep your eyes closed.
Mhm.
Go over to the kitchen and reveal first, and then I'll do.
Oh, Nissa's going to the
You
kitchen?
can't open your eyes until I say.
No, it's fine. You said Nissa's go to the kitchen?
Yeah, so
Okay.
you guys are gonna turn towards the kitchen.
Okay.
Don't look at me.
Okay.
I can hear Chris like 2 feet behind me, and something touched me, which means Chris has something.
Oh wait, no. Go by the microphone. Never mind.
Okay, yeah.
All right, Nissa, you actually stand over there in that doorway.
Elton,
Yeah.
come to me. This
All
is
right,
where the microphone
reveal
is.
what Nissa has.
Do we open our eyes?
Yeah.
Am I aimed in
Don't
the
look
right
back
direction?
here.
Oh,
Okay.
she's over here.
I have 2 bits.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
This is Chris. One we have unused, never been used before. Well, it's really dirty, but it's a packet of ketchup.
Nice. I'm hungry.
Cool.
Red, gold.
Okay.
And Breeze Smoke disposable pod device. Lush Ice.
Lush. Okay, so it's
Pro
okay, so
edition.
that's good.
A flavor
Pro
palooza.
edition. Warning: this product contains nicotine. Nicotine is an addictive chemical.
Oh, well, I don't
didn't know
smoke
that.
cigarettes.
I smoke those. They don't have nicotine in them. Oh, I'm fucked. Okay, close your eyes.
Uh-huh.
I'm just depressed.
Nissa swap with me.
Doesn't bode well for you that your garbage just made me sad.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
I'm kidding. I knew it had nicotine in it. That's why I like it.
Hee hee ha ha.
All right, I also have 2 items. Don't look yet.
Uh-huh.
All right, go ahead and open them. First item, of Coors Light can.
Is it open?
Yep.
Oh,
You guys are touching a lot of people's food, and I'm very impressed with that.
Second item,
Uh-huh.
the biggest stick I could possibly find.
Oh, nice.
No.
Now, can you run through that doorway with it?
Yes.
Why did the light go off?
Exactly what I wanted you to do. All right, well, I think Chris won. I'm sorry, but...
No.
Get a picture of me with this stick.
Holy cow, that was really good.
Okay.
While, well, in this gremlin's opinion, Chris's garbage wasn't as good.
Consider it is a stick, a bit of garbage.
I do not think so, even a little bit. What he did with it.
Yeah,
I got 10 cents.
more than I could have done with a bit of ketchup.
So, to find the best piece of street trash was worth 15 points. And you guys both did really well. So we split it up. Nissa arguably had the better trash, but Chris,
Yeah, I'm really hungry. That ketchup was really good, actually.
you ran through the door with a big stick. That's always going to be funny. Plus, you turned the lights off. So we split it up. Nissa got 8 of the points. Chris got 7 of the points. Our final scores. Chris sits at a 122 points. Nissa sits at a 151 points.
Oh my god.
So I'm doing a solo podcast is the deal.
No.
Yeah, he lost.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that meant that Nissa had to come back.
No, that's if she
Oh, that was the
lost.
punishment. Right.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
see.
So next week, you're going to be doing this by yourself. I think you can handle it. And next time we do a game show, I guess I'm going to get a better points goblin who understands the rules.
I'll stick to goblining next time and not try to write shit down.
Anyway, I thought this was a fun episode. Nissa, Elton, again, thank you for coming by. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Chris, any closing thoughts?
No.
It's
All right. Well, I guess that's that mattress.
If you need more soup, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter, or go to our website, eatingsoupalone.com. And until next time,